Wednesday, the 10th of June. Yes. Wednesday, the 10th of June at 5:04 in the morning. The Declaration of Independence of Cyberspace. Governments of the industrial world, you wary giants of flesh and steel, I come from cyberspace, the new home of mind. On behalf of the future, I ask you of the past to leave us alone. You are not welcome among us. You have no sovereignty, where we gather. We have no elected government, nor are we likely to have one. So I address you with no greater authority than that with which liberty itself always speaks. I declare the global social space we are building to be naturally independent of the tyrannies you seek to impose upon us. You have no moral right to rule us, nor do you possess any methods of enforcement we have true reason to fear. Governments derive their just powers from the consent of the governed. You have neither solicited nor received ours. We did not invite you. You do not know us, nor do you know our world. Cyberspace does not lie within your borders. Do not think that you can build it as though it was a public construction project. You cannot. It is an act of nature, and it grows itself through our collective actions. You have not engaged in our great and gathering conversation, nor did you create the wealth of our marketplaces. You do not know our culture, our ethics, or the unwritten codes that already provide our society more order than could be obtained by any of your impositions. You claim there are problems among us, and you need to solve. Need to have water with this. Many of these problems don't exist. Where there are real conflicts, where there are wrongs, we will identify them and address them by our own means. We are forming our own social contract. This government will arise according to the conditions to our world, not yours. Our world is different. Cyberspace consists of transactions, relationships, and thought itself, arrayed like a standing wave in the web of communications. Ours is a world that is both everywhere and nowhere. But it is not where bodies live. The utopian division. We are creating a world that all may enter without privilege or prejudice, according by race, economic power, military force, or station of birth. We are creating a world where anyone, anywhere, may express his or her beliefs, no matter how singular, without fear of being coerced into silence or conformity. The legal concepts of property, expression, identity, movement, and context do not apply to us. They are all based on matter, and there is no matter here. Our identities have no bodies, so unlike you, we cannot obtain order by physical coercion. We believe that from ethics, enlightenment, self-interest, and common will, our government will emerge. Our identities may be distributed across many of our jurisdictions. The only law that all our constituted cultures would generally recognise is the Golden Rule. We hope we will be able to build our particular solutions on that basis. But we cannot accept the solutions you are attempting to impose. In the UK, you have today created a law, the Telecommunications Reform Act, which repudiates your own constitution and insults the dreams of former prime ministers. These dreams must now be born anew in us. You are terrified of your own children, since they are natives in a world where you will always be immigrants. Because you fear them, you entrust your bureaucracies with parental responsibilities. You are too cowardly to confront yourselves. In our world, all the sentiments are expressions of humanity. From the debasing to the angelic are parts of the seamless whole, the global conversation of bits. We cannot separate the air that chokes us from the air upon which wings beat. In China, Germany, France, Russia, Singapore, Italy, and the United States, we are all trying to ward off the virus of liberty by erecting guard posts at the frontiers of cyberspace. These may keep out the contagion for a small time, but they will not work in a world where that will soon be blanketed in bit-bearing media. Your increasingly obsolete information industries would perpetuate themselves by proposing laws in America and elsewhere that claim to our own speech itself throughout the world. These laws would declare ideas to be another industrial product, no more noble than pig iron. In our world, whatever the human mind may create can be reproduced and distributed infinitely at no cost. The global conveyance of thought no longer requires your factories to accomplish. Pardon me. These increasingly hostile and colonial measures place us in the same position as those previous lovers of freedom and speech self-determination. You had to reject the authorities of distance, uniform, uninformed powers. We must declare our virtual selves immune to your sovereignty. Even as we continue to consent to your rule over our bodies, we will spread ourselves across the planet so that no one can arrest our thoughts. We will create a civilization of mind in cyberspace. May it be more humane and fair than the world your governments have made before. Okay.